Welcome back to another video of back garden tips. Here's another little pit bike project that we're going to head towards scrapyard. And I said I'll save that, give me a couple of days and a few parts. So I looked over at bikes, seeing what we're missing. Didn't have no spark, electrics were a right mess. Checked them all out, couldn't figure out what it was. Checked the coil, checked the CDI, checked the wires. I think the stator's knackered, so I did test. The stator said it was okay, so I bought all brand new stator, full electrics, stator, coil, electrics. Bought throttle cable, clutch cable, rear brake, brand new carbon air filter, brand new front brake lever, new spark plugs, new fuel tap, and so yeah, I'm gonna see if we can get this up and running. So watch out for part 2. Little tip: if you want to get the flywheel off, invest in one of these. I think I paid about 12 quid for this about 10 years ago, and I've used it on hundreds of different bikes. All you do is, it's a reverse thread as well, and you can use 2 different sizes for 2 different, different styles of flywheels. But you reverse thread it in there, and then once you get that fully in tight, get some grips on that or a spanner on them flat edges to hold that still. Tighten that up, and when you tighten it up, it just pushes that off, straight off. You got no chance of damaging it. Look how rusty that is in there now. So I think that was the culprit of a bad stator, because it's a right mess. Looks like it's been left out in water. When you take it off, you want to be careful of your little Woodruff key. You don't want to lose that. And then when you're putting that back on, there's a little groove in there that's got to line up with it, and it should just push on nice and easy. You shouldn't have to force it on. And once it's fully set itself back, let's see if we can do it now with one hand. Get her lined up. That's it, and she's back on. And then obviously you take it out, you put your nut on and tighten that up. But they're well worth the investment then, and like you say, 2 seconds. Yep. So you have a little outside thread in there which that screws into and left some thread, but you can also take the nut out, put it in that size, and then if your flywheel's got that thread on it, then you can use it 2 ways, so it does 2 different styles of flywheels. We used it on hundreds of bikes over the last 10 years or so. I paid about 12 quid for it. Lasts forever. And there I have it. You have 2 screws. I use a big head, because if you use a little screwdriver, you just round them, and then once you got it on, you pop that off. Watch out for the seal around the edge. This is what I think is the problem anyway, for no spark. So I'm going to change that, because I did the multimeter tests on the reading, and 3 of the wires checked out, because your white and your yellow is just for lights, don't worry about them. Your spark is, you've got your green earth there, and then you've got your power, which goes to CDI, and then from CDI is your, well, that goes into CDI as well as your power, and then that goes to your coil, that goes into your CDI. So I've got that. Make sure you dust it all off, and that's inside the engine basically. You've got that there, that's your chain tensioner for your cam chain, and that there is the oil pump to keep pressure on that chain. So that's why you need to make sure that you've got the correct amount of oil in these engines, because the oil pressure pops out, which keeps that nice and tight, which keeps your cam chain tight as well. So that's what it looks like behind there. This is on a kickstart only engine. I'm going to clean this up, hoover this out, make sure no dust. I did blow it off before I separated it, but wipe all this off, make sure no muck goes into that engine. And then before you tighten these nuts up, make sure that plate is pushed all the way in, because you need to make sure that the rubber o-ring sits in nice and flush, because if you have it on an angle, you tighten them up, you'll end up snapping this stator plate, because it's got to be on square, because if it's on an angle you end up damaging it, because they're only fragile. So make sure that that stator is fully pressed down into the grooves all the way around level before you tighten these screws up. So got the stator back on, got the flywheel on, started connecting the wires up. So as far as bolt-on goes on, that's where the original coil went. But on these frames, I had a little hole for the coil to go there. So I've had to add my own bolt-on washer because they didn't come with that coil. So I've had to put that on. I've put the new kill switch on the handlebars, which comes with bullet type connectors. And the only set of wires left come with male and female connectors. Same colours, black and white, so that it comes with some reason 2 sets of kill switch wires, so that could be ignition if you want, because normally key ignitions fit in there on these little pitbike things. You don't have to have them, but it's added security. But so I think that's why they give you that option of them too. But they obviously don't go on there, so I'm gonna have to put my own connections on there to wire that kill switch up, and then we can test it, see if it sparks. So right now, what I've done is I've taped up all the bits, all the connections, everything. I've got that bit to tape up. But everywhere where water can get in with these bikes, because they don't like water whatsoever. Well, anything electrical don't like water. So you've got to go around, tape them all up. So I've just neatened it all up now. I have checked, it does now spark, which that was a complete kit that I bought off eBay, but Amazon sell them. I just wanted it quick, 3-day postage. So I bought the stator, the coil, the wiring loom, the CDI, the kill switch, all came as a package, and the spark plug came in with it as well. I still need to put my kill switches on. I haven't wired that up yet, but I've put the brand new carb on now. And as for bolting on, it don't come with a bolt, so I've had to add my own bolts in, but it did come with the spacer which you need between them, and the new air filter, which and a new jubilee clip which we're going to be putting on now. And then obviously I'm going to take the throttle out and get all the throttle cable in there now ready. Just mooching on with it a little bit. That didn't look too bad. I thought the bolt would have stuck out too far. Once the engine case is back on, plastics are back on, I will see if that sticks out. Then I'll just cut the excess off so it don't catch no legs or anything like that. You don't want to scrape yourself. But yeah, we're getting there with it. Good job you always check stuff before you try run it. That sump bolt will finger tight. Look at the state of that oil. So we're going to be putting brand new S4 1040 in it. I'm going to give it an oil service. You should always check stuff before you start them up and run them, because you can never believe what the old owner tells you. So we're going to drain all this out and put some fresh petrol in it and see if she's ready to run. Because I think we're there now. We've got tank in place, put new fuel tap on there, carbs on, pipes on. So it's just down to giving this an oil change, fresh petrol in it, and see if it runs. Oh, and bleed the brakes up as well. Brakes need bleeding. Well, she's a runner. Just had to set the carb up with tick over screw so it ticks over. Started up, sounds well. Exhaust is a mess, but they're only like 20-25 quid for a new one. You wanted to put a big bore on. Obviously now you know engine's running, you could put bigger carb on it, bigger exhaust and make them go a bit, but for what it is, it starts up and it runs, and it's better than being up the scrap pile. It's a little tinkering, put fresh oil in it. It's got all the new spark plug in it and everything. Just got to sort the brakes out, put the plastics back on. Another one rescued. Thanks for watching.